All right, now we will open the regular meeting. I'll call the meeting to order at this time, 5:54. And I already told you to turn your cell phones, electronic devices off, and you should have already been up here and pledged. You did do that. Mr. Fuentes, would you please lead us in our prayer and our pledge this evening, sir?
Lord, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day that you have given us. We're thankful for the much needed rain that we have received. We're thankful for everything that you do for each and every one of us. We ask to bless our troops, our country. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, consider approval of the minutes of the October 1st, 2018 and October 17th, 2018 meetings. You should have both in your packet. I believe the October 1st was the one that you had in question, Bob, at the last meeting, considering the taps.
Yes.
Is everything in line as presented?
Tommy, what is the current tax price for household, for residents, typical residents? What is the current amount for a tap?
The current amount, it was 300.
300?
That's what the current tap is. We're proposing.
Not 150?
No. No, this isn't just a set of meter. This is just a tap.
I know.
Yeah.
So when I call City Hall on Dwayne Schaefer's behalf, and City Hall tells me $150, that's not true. That's not accurate, right?
It shouldn't be, no.
That's deposit.
Yeah, that may be a deposit.
I think what I wanted, Tommy, was not to go up $200 on the 3/4 to 5/8,
Right.
which is a typical household tap, right?
Yes.
What I wanted was $100. I mean, present rate $300, proposed rate $500.
But down there in your comments, you said made the motion to change the fee from 300 to 4.
Okay, that's accurate. And leave the others. Yeah, that's what I suggested. So just forget this up here, just forget this.
This is what was presented to the council.
Okay. Well, I'll go with that paragraph that's below.
Okay.
All right, y'all reviewed all of the minutes from both dates.
Yeah, I got some stuff.
He said it, but.
Well, the agenda said October 17th, the actual meeting was on October 15th. But that wasn't what I was going to talk about. On, I guess, page, just going to have page numbers on keep up with it. On page 2, where it's talking about Ginger Turner, and she was asking for stop sign. There's a missing word in that sentence or something because it doesn't make any sense there. Just wanted a stop sign on that, and we think because of the big that was installed. I'm not sure what they had. Dip. Okay, we just get dip out of that, be happy. I saw some misspellings. Might want to run a spell check on it. It's that important, but that's the biggest thing I saw.
Anyone else? No? All right then, motion to accept minutes as presented with corrections.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Thank you. All right, visitors who are not on the regular agenda will be given the opportunity to address the council on any subject at this time. Is anyone present but it's not on the agenda. All right. Moving along, City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on re-establishing the curfew ordinance for the city. You should have the new ordinance Mr. Chester worked on in your packet. Basically modified it as we did last time. Okay.
I took out the, didn't change the substitute provisions, but I changed the whereas is that Councilman Daniel objected to, found offensive, and just left it basic. So
Okay.
hopefully that will,
It's just, not all 17-year-olds are bad guys.
I know. I know.
Well,
Anyway, I like it.
Anybody have any other questions about it? No?
We'll need to counter this for, after we pass it tonight, if we pass it. Prior to 3 years, we need to hold a public hearing and talk about the results of it. And that way we won't have to re-adopt it each time when it's continued.
Okay. But that's every 3 years, but we'd have to have a public hearing prior to that.
Correct.
Okay.
Who's gonna put that on their calendar reminder?
All right, motion to accept reestablishing the curfew ordinance for the city as it's been presented.
Make that motion.
Second. Second. All in favor, say aye. All right. City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on a request from the Chamber to have a Christmas and Old Ballinger parade on November 24th, 2018. That is on a Saturday. Ms. Tammie?
Yes. That is Saturday at 11 a.m., November 24th. And we will go back to the lineup at 6th and Railroad, with lineup being at 10 a.m. And we'll go down to 10th Street, back to Railroad, back to 6th. Do that full.
So we're going back to what it was?
Yes. We changed it in April because of the Lone Star Market, but we move it back at Christmas.
Does that cause more confusion going back and forth rather than just leaving it one way or the other? I'm just asking.
We already have the forms out. The
Okay.
parade forms have been out for about a month.
All right.
That's the way, this time. No, I do like the lineup better at 10. It's less congested, but we did send these out, so we'll go back to 6th and Railroad.
All right. So I have a motion to accept the request from the Chamber to have the Christmas and Old Ballinger parade on November 24, 2018, please.
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye. Thank you. All right, City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on the quarterly tourism report from Ms. Tammie also.
Okay, y'all should have 2 sheets. One is the trial balance, which shows what we started the third quarter with and what we ended with. And then you will have an itemized by check written out of what we spent in the third quarter.
Another question.
Go ahead.
You have operating salaries, and you have payroll and payroll expenses as 2 other line items. What's the difference on those?
Okay, so when I cut a payroll check, so one of my payroll checks a month comes out of the tourism account, the other one comes out of operating, but the payroll expenses are actually paid out of operating, all of them. So it shows this, that's why I attached the check detail on the back, because it will show the salaries and the payroll, so it'll break down on the payroll expenses, but the payroll expenses aren't actually being paid out of the tourism account. They're paid out of the operating.
So that's why caught my attention was the salaries, if I'm looking at that lined up right.
And it may not be, it looks like it's off.
The operating salaries is what, 6,900?
Yes, it should be, it's not lined up right, you're correct.
And, but I don't see that over here on this other page as well, I was wondering.
Right, and that's why you don't see it on the other front page. this doesn't actually, when any report that I pull up out of the tourism account, it'll break down the payroll and the payroll expenses, but the payroll expenses do not actually come out of the tourism account. So you will not see those come out of the budget or out of the line item.
So are you pulling out of two different accounts and then showing it in one form?
Well, when I write the payroll check, it automatically separates. So it'll separate the liabilities, and that pulls down. And so it's always showing the payroll liabilities, but that's not actually coming out of the tourism account. When we go to pay those, they come out of the operating account, all of them. So all that's coming out as far as payroll goes is my, is after taxes. And you'll see those checks on the second page.
Those are the ones that split this item because it's splitting from two different accounts?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking, so we want to explain this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's hard, yes, yes.
That's how all of it is.
Difficult
That's,
to, yeah, that's the
Posting the two
split,
different
yes.
accounts.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. It does get a little confusing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why I picked these two reports. They were a little less confusing. When you print out the profit and loss, it show a payroll check, and then it'll show all the liabilities. So it'll show the Medicaid, the Social Security, the federal, but it's not withholding, but it's not coming out of the tourism account. It's coming out of the operating account, but it does show it. Any other questions? Is that clear as mud?
I think that's all about that.
Okay.
So you pulling these out straight out of QuickBooks?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
Anybody?
Great. Great. You have anything else? Okay. You're the only one that didn't say anything, so I wouldn't. Sorry.
That happens once in a while. No, it's fine.
All right, motion to accept the quarterly tourism report from Tammie Virden, please.
Make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you, thank you. All right. All right, City Council may consider, discuss, or take action on the hiring of an independent auditor to perform an audit of city finances. Mr. Gore, was this one that you wanted?
Yeah, that's one I wanted to discuss.
Okay.
I just was, I know I've spoken to Tammie a little bit about it, as far as looking at getting a deep dive in our finance to find out more about why we're in the financial status that we were in before from the Gaylor Fullerton firm. And just see where the finances, where the money's gone and why we basically don't have any. This is not a completely accurate statement, but it concerned me when our credit rating was graded as it was. Because I had this report from the accountant before that said everything was fine. So that brought up a question in my mind.
Right, and I had spoke with Gaylor a couple of times, and basically the statement was, any auditor has to follow the criteria for a government entity, which we are a government entity.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have to do more in-depth audits, which are borderline forensic because it's government money.
Right.
So they do that. As far as getting another audit, you're doing the same thing with the same person, with another person that has to follow the same criteria that the government says. So if you have any other questions or anything like that, as far as the detail, Ms. Rhonda is with Ms. Gaylor Fullerton.
Okay.
And she is here to represent that and to answer any questions as far as the audit, how it's done.
Without knowing the finances specifically, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
It raised some questions
Right.
that our credit was shot.
Well, it's not shot, that's Moody, and that's what Pat tried to explain, was Moody does that to the majority of the cities in the states because their criteria is so high level. Is that?
Small, I think, not the lady from this pulpit firm can say it, but the reality is that smaller cities with the small ad valorem tax rates are being on their credit rating. Regardless of how much revenue you receive from water, sewer, they don't look at that. and look at ad valorem tax,
Right.
governmental funds, not proprietary, when they establish your credit rating. I mean,
Right.
Brownwood, we barely, we're above junk bond status, but that's about it. And we've got more cash than we've ever had. So, I mean, I'm not an expert in that area, but I know it's something that we've had a great amount of consternation about. I mean, to me, if you want to have a disclosure firm or somebody look at it, they need to really say, I mean, what were our 10 big expenditures in a 3-year period of, and you can figure out real quick.
Yeah.
What kind of.
That'd be all we need. I mean, I just, it doesn't feel, if I got a credit report and they said my credit shot, I go back and look at my books and figure out why. What have I been spending my money on? Where's it been going? Should it have gone? Should we change some of our processes
Well,
in my household?
right, but Moody has a criteria, and then Water Development Board has another criteria, as far as where we have to have stuff. So every time somebody walks in the door and every time we go for different financing, grant, or anything else, every single one of them look at something different for where it's at. And they'll come in and say, hey, this stuff's out of line. Can y'all move it over so it looks right for us to get through this? And then we have to adjust it back for the next person.
You want to have a kind of.
Ms. Rhonda, do you have any comments concerning this, please?
Just generally speaking, the different concerns, they are somewhat different concerns. So when you have the financial statement audit, the governmental auditing standards and the governmental accounting standards board, financial accounting standards board, all of those regulatory entities have standards that we have to practice in our industry that say this is what you do. And they focus more on the internal control processes of the financial reporting system. So what a financial audit does in theory, you hand us an audit report and then we follow our procedures, document internal controls to see can we rely on these, and then we test those internal controls to see if we are finding instances where expenditures were not approved by someone, or that check was not signed off with 2 signatures and cleared the bank, or this vendor on the payables list doesn't even exist, but yet they're getting a monthly payment. So there are tests that we do, but it's not designed to find fraud. In fact, a financial audit statement disclaims that because of the pure nature of fraud, where people are intending to hide things and just that malintent, it's not always easy to find.
So
There are materiality, there are standards. We document the internal controls. If they're so weak and not working, then you could get an adverse opinion. We can't even do the audit work. But to answer your question now, or to take it a little step further, let's go to the Moody's credit rating on why that would be so different from the financial statement results. Your concerns are valid, I think, if you don't understand all the things that are going on. But just like the city attorney was saying, Moody's is a credit rating that's similar to a FICO score. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm suspicious that they probably have proprietary calculations that we can see how certain things affect our rating, but we couldn't ever recalculate it, if that makes sense. So checking the credit ratings or calculating credit rating scores is not part of a financial statement audit. But if you do see trends, certain trends, you can look at those bigger numbers, and the state of Texas requires financial statements, the governmental funds and the proprietary funds and then the fiduciary funds all being presented differently. So you might not have cash in that general fund bank, it may be a proprietary fund, as I was trying to explain there. You can see certain trends, but if there's, overspending going on somewhere in the details, or funds being misappropriated, or if the transfers of actual cash that can go from those proprietary bank funds to the general bank account funds aren't being made, then a forensic audit will go much deeper in depth and analyze the transaction of your financial systems and even further. And they can detect just running data through, you know, certain tools that they have, patterns, things that look suspicious, or things that are, hey, here's where all your money's going, you know, so why are you spending so much money in this area? And then you can do types of things and what the city needs and doesn't need. So really, that's what I kind of wanted to be here to do. Is I think I did watch the recording of the meeting on October 15th, and I think everybody's on the right track. So I just kind of wanted to explain that yes, if you have a leakage going on and the audit results and the credit rating results were not what you kind of expected, then it's definitely worth discussing. Do you want to look at a forensic audit? Abilene has done that recently. They've, requested a specific audit of the DCOA funds to see where those marketing money is really being spent. Over the last 10 years, did they spend it? So it's an additional audit, but it doesn't satisfy the requirements of your annual, by law, financial audit.
What are the costs of those kind of audits?
Usually they're by estimated hours, and you can have someone, you can put those out for bid, and that's, probably what you have to do as a city, is put that out for bid, but you can request proposals for forensic audits and get those estimates and then see if you want to have that done. And the same firm can do financial statement audits and forensic audits as long as they've got the qualifications in both areas.
I don't think fraud was the concern, more just
leakage and maybe overspending.
That's what concerns me.
Where it all went.
And that's something that, the current folks are always needing to answer, and it's difficult when you haven't been here.
So Tammie, I'm all for a forensic auditor. Our school is going through issues right now.
Right.
It took a forensic auditor to uncover that. I'm bothered, but that we cashed in 125,000 or whatever CD. I don't remember that coming before council to be approved to do that. I've been here 2 years. I'm bothered by what Stan told me. Would you tell me, Stan, you got 3 grants and only two of them, the money showed up for 2 of them, something like that? You told me that.
You're talking about loans?
Yeah, something.
The one report that Tammie did not too long ago, there was 3 loans out. Technically, you only have 2. I only know about 2. And one of them I know, I was here, I was chief. The other one was during Mark McNulty's time. And the other one that supposedly on the books, I was here for, I know we paid for it out of pocket because we had the money for it in our budget.
So the loan.
Yeah, a loan, yes, sir.
And Tammie, again, my issue remains. I want you to start out with a clean slate because I'm kind of paranoid about some things that may have gone on prior to your hire. I say may have gone on. And that's the deal. I want you to be protected. Also, all of this goes on under our watch.
Right.
I don't want any reflection on any of us either.
Right.
Well, I have a concern about why $125,000, where did it go and what was it used for? I want to know what that, where that was spent.
So, Pat, isn't that usually an approval process for council?
Yeah, it depends on obviously, I don't know what your terms of your CD were or what you put it aside for. Theoretically, if you say you put aside that and you budgeted where to spend that year on a project, now it wouldn't require any further if that was something.
Both cities want to pay bills.
It just depends on what you set it aside for in the first place. If you set it aside just for part of your reserves and never to be touched.
And the answer to that, Bo, is what?
No.
No what?
It was supposed to be in the revenue bond reserve, where we have to have so much in there for the bond.
Was there more than one CD that was cashed out?
There's 3. Who had the authority to do that? The city manager.
We
need forensic audit.
And what was the total of those three?
356.
356,000.
When was that done? This year?
No, in 15.
15?
So Jason, there's the answer.
Right. Ms. Rhonda, could you define more of the forensic audit? The way I was told was it's individually done and there's a different cost per.
I do not, okay, I think what you're saying is like on the general fund versus the proprietary funds. That may be true.
Okay.
Or maybe on the certain systems, but honestly speaking, I do not have a background in forensic auditing and would not know how that works.
Well, I appreciate you being here, but who asked you to be here?
I did,
Okay. Kind of what I thought.
because I spoke with Gayla and she said, would you like somebody to be present? And I said, that would be good. Is that a problem? How
I
about
just figured you asked her. I really,
But she was out of town, so I've just recently started with
no,
Gayla.
I just wanted to know who asked.
But what she had stated was you have to still have, like Pat said, you still have to have your regular audit.
Which is
And
this
then-
one, right? This one.
Correct.
Okay.
You still have to have that.
Right, that's,
And then a lot of times that does find the fraud or the spending.
misappropriation.
And then they identify the area and then it would cost 2 to 3 times as much as that to go in and do the forensic more in depth.
Yeah, I think what he's talking about is typically, for example, in our county, in Brown County, they suspected theft out of the county attorney's office where he took in fine money. And so they did a forensic audit of this county attorney's finance, basically his bank account. And so if you want to do it like on the CD, for example, that's what you want to say, you want a forensic audit on the CDs and what the proceeds are used for, then that would be something.
Well, I don't think we need a forensic audit just for that. I think
Just overall.
Tammie and Bonita could look that up and find it out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if you do it overall, it's gonna cost a fortune because
What
there's.
kind of fortune we talking? I mean, what kind of-
I don't know, I would guess $50,000 to $100,000.
Jason, it costs the school 5,000 to 7,000.
For a forensic audit of their entire school?
That's what one of the board members told me.
Wow, I'd be shocked at that.
Yeah, you
Y'all
talked
should
to
have heard
him,
of it.
didn't you, Stan?
Well,
You talked to their forensic auditor.
I did not talk to their forensic auditor, personally. I did talk to the Texas Rangers, find out where I can start looking for forensic auditors, get some more info. And I only got the guy that wanted to do it, he wanted to put his name in that, so that's all I got out of it. I don't know who's doing it or not.
It depends on the number of years. I could just tell you what she just said, which is the absolute truth. What does it cost for your regular audit per year? 20,000. 20,000?
Budget, yeah.
Well, it'll be more than that because it's gonna be, if you do it for 3 years, it should be 60,000 just for a regular audit of 3 years. So, I mean, I'm not a mathematician.
Well, we can explore it, right?
Sure.
We don't have to say basically today.
What you gotta understand is that if you say, like, you wanna audit for 5 years, I mean, you're talking about a tall task. I'm just saying, I've never heard of a city to say, we're gonna forensic audit all our finances. Again, it's like this record or some specific fund.
Right.
But it's because it's such a broad, in-depth examination. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to dissuade you at all. I just want you to understand, you have to give a scope to the auditors before you get anything meaningful, what you want. And, I mean, it is a very tall, expensive
Well,
thing.
what we might do is Bonita and I would run through an exercise to go back in 2015 and start with the 3 CDs and then figure out what happened and report, and if we need to go any further, then we can make that decision.
Well, to me, and this is one of the things that I'm not used to, what our finance director gives us every city council meeting in Brownwood is how much cash we got in the bank, our reserves, how many days of operating funds do we have in case we had a tax suit. If you ever have somebody challenge your tax rolls, you don't get money that year.
The financial person can do this report every meeting.
Every meeting.
I wouldn't mind having that every meeting.
And it doesn't change much each meeting.
They have a financial advisor.
But that's all he does.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, but what I'm telling you is that I think for me, the meaningful thing that I hear y'all saying is where'd the money go?
Mhm.
And I think if you can look at how much cash do you have in 2014, for example? And, you know, what was your revenue expenditure in 2014? What were your revenue expenditures in 2015? Well, you know, how much cash do you have in the bank?
Well,
That'll tell you.
That's a good idea.
That'll
Start with
tell
that.
you.
Get those reports for us right now. And then-
Because if it's simply that you bought a $500,000 fire truck in 2015, that'll explain it immediately, where the money went. I mean, that's because if you spend more money, if you spend more, because you know those firemen, they got after it.
You had to use that.
I had to use that. Just because they're good, they're expensive. But my point is, I think it'd be good, because I think, I talked to you about this, is that, you know, I think knowing kind of, I mean, what's really important for this city is to have some cash reserves. That's what, you know, really, for financial liquidity.
Is there some kind of like general rule on how much reserves you should have in based on your size, or is it just what you can get?
I mean, the
Yes.
more,
That's why you had a low credit rating there. You have to have
We're gonna have
cash
reserves.
reserves in your
Okay.
bank. Because you
But
know-
that hurts our credit rating by having
Yeah.
low
That's what I
reserves.
was going to say.
Is it 1 month or 6 months that they want you to have cash
Nobody
We
reserves?
have
answers that.
60
Gail
days.
would, I don't.
we have 60 days in Brownwood. They encourage us to have 60 to 75. And
I'm just
that's
guessing
several
how much
million
we
dollars.
have right now.
And is this Moody, is it based anything on the reserves we have?
Yeah.
Moody
Yeah,
rating?
Moody, that's about all they do. They don't look at everything else like
And
that.
so all of a sudden, we're down 3 CDs for X amount of dollars.
They don't look at
Our
that either.
rating goes
They
down.
don't
No,
look at that.
they're just looking at cash
They
reserve.
look at cash reserve. All these
Well,
bonds
see,
don't
don't
That's
count
count
towards our
towards our
cash
cash
reserve.
reserves.
That's part of the cash reserve.
It would count for our cash reserves.
But I mean,
So
they don't,
once we
they
lost
don't
those, we
look at
lost
their CDs.
$300,000 for cash reserves.
Right.
And it may have gone to a good cause, but I'd like to know
Yeah,
what that
I'd like
cost
to know
was.
what's wrong, because that's a lot of money on it.
Is this the first year that Moody's done this credit rating?
No.
No.
What has it been in previous years?
Usually around 16 months, they'll review us.
So that'd be another good report, to see where our credit ratings in the past and where we are now.
Well, we may go through another review because we were low last time, in 60 days roughly.
I'd be surprised your Moody credit rating has changed very much.
Very much.
I really-
I'd like to see it, and you're probably right. I mean,
I think ours has
Been doing
not
this long
changed.
enough.
Ours has been bad in Brownwood ever since 2008, when they had the collapse of the financial market, and they started really clamping down on financial fraud. And that's
Right.
really when they started really, and that's when they basically, they have I don't know if y'all do it or not, but our finance director has a Moody's credit rating phone conference every year for about 2 or 3 hours. They have to argue of why are we getting this and that, and, you know, they usually just say, because you don't have enough ad valorem taxes.
Is that the code you had with Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's, you know, I think it goes much deeper than Moody's credit rating. I think that's obviously a benchmark, but I think for y'all, relative, I mean, in other words, if you had 8 days of reserves in 2014, and now you have 7, you really probably have materially changed your financial position. It'd be nice for you to know that.
Yeah.
Or, wait, in 2014, you had 20 days of operating funds, and now you have 2. That's something you need to know, because that'll give you an idea of now where'd the money go, you know, and
So maybe that's the action for now, is to get Tammie and the ladies to look at those, give us some good reports on that stuff for next meeting, or if that's too soon, the next one. I don't know how hard it'd be to get those, and I'm not trying to think you should pile a whole bunch of extra work, but maybe you can give us enough to satisfy any questions.
Well,
We're done with it.
We can surely start doing
Maybe
what they
they
do
just
in
make us have
Brownwood.
more questions.
Because we get those off the reports anyway. Sure. So I'll get with you and see if we can add that to the report every council meeting. And then we'll start looking at going back at 2015 and seeing when those were cashed. And see
when do we have a new city manager come on? Was it 2015 or 2014? 15. 2015, so we had a different city manager in 2014. To me, it'd be interesting to see the difference in 2014 and then,
2014.
I'd probably give you a little historical.
And I'd like to know what our cash balance was at the end of the previous city manager to the 2015 city
We already
manager to this one.
2014, what the cash balance and reserves were, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018.
Yearly cash balance.
See,
from
basically,
like 2013 on.
what your differences are.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, you need to have listed also, if there is that large of a difference, just like you said, what happened that year, what was purchased.
Yeah. and-
Equipment, what it
Ties into
was,
the
because there's a
trailer or
lot of
something.
equipment, there's everything else that had to be purchased.
Well, I noticed in her, one of the audit reports this year, it said we did not, or maybe it was that little letter she sent us, we didn't get a grant or something that was like 600.
It's part of the Moody's report.
Have the meetings report.
Yeah, and so that was $600,000 less revenue we had
Right.
the year before.
Correct.
So I mean, that's the kind of deviations that are explained.
You didn't have that grant, so therefore it's gonna hit you.
Right, and so again, I don't know about what y'all did, but those are the kinds of things to me, which would give y'all a big idea of what kind of has happened.
Correct.
Maybe I'm being overcautious, but the school thing kind of woke me up, you know, and then I started hearing about how we're broken credit rating and blah, 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 and I'm like, we need to look at this. Just to cover
It's good to be
Tommy,
concerned.
cover ourselves, and everybody. It all checks out, I'm happy.
Well, it boils down to what, a lot of times the council is not being informed of what's going on in the city.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
We need to be informed.
Everything.
And that's where you can, with those reports and stuff.
Right.
We start back at 14 and bring it up to date, the council's informed what went on, where the money was spent, then we can start fresh.
Right.
You're in good shape.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Yeah, so the next meeting, we'll get this information added to the report, and then we'll start with 2014 and come forward, and by then we should have a good idea of when we might get some more information out.
And that's your action, because basically that action is not gonna match what's on the agenda.
Yeah, that's our action.
Right.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Because in discussion, we decided different action.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think, Bob?
I was ready to look at what an independent auditor would cost us, even looking into these specific areas.
I'm still not opposed to that. We can still take bids.
Well, we gotta look into it, see what we find out there, and if there's, and that's like Gayla has said, the audit shows you where you might have a problem, then you do it.
So Tommy, are you and Bo going to do this?
We're gonna start.
So you have a degree in finance?
Actually, I do, but I'm not. I hadn't worked in a long time. I will start it, but see, this might give us the scope. Because what they were saying is we need a place to start, some scope to look at.
Right.
And then,
So this would be, you'll drag this out for an indefinite period?
no, sir. No. We can add the immediate information we can add to the next meeting.
As for hiring an independent auditor or getting a price on an independent auditor, to look where this 300,000 plus CD money we went to.
Right.
That's what I'm for.
I like the idea of taking bids and then getting information on how much it actually costs.
Let's go put phase one, and then get phase one, they're gonna go through it, pop up, anything happens, and we'll go from
I
there.
think that's what the attorney's saying too, though.
Right.
Before you get bids, you have to go through this phase to determine what your scope of work is, and then you go get bids.
To protect yourself.
Right? Am I correct in saying that, or?
I agree, Carl.
And this is something we can address at the next meeting, so.
Because if you did buy a new fire truck and it's nowhere in the city, then there you go.
Good.
Oh, where's the fire truck?
It's in Rowena.
It's in Rowena.
Police department, we didn't touch that. So, next meeting we'll have something.
Yes.
And if Bob doesn't have his answers, then we'll go there. To the taking bids and financial forensics. So, okay with you, Mr. McDaniel?
Not really, but Jason, I'll go with you.
We're not gonna let this drop. I'm not gonna let this drop. I'm concerned.
Okay.
I'm as concerned as you are. But I don't wanna wear the company out too much. You've got a lot of homework to do.
All right, we good to move on?
Rick,
I'm good.
you good?
Yeah,
You
we're
will.
gonna keep pursuing this, yes.
Okay,
All right, we're good with him starting that action, since that's the same actions on the agenda.
I think so.
Thank you, Ms. Rhonda, be careful going
Thank you,
home.
ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, consider approval of building permit, I only have one, do y'all have more?
No, it's just the one for, porch.
Front or back?
Oh, but no, say, new porch.
Front porch?
I think it's front, yes. $4,800 evaluation of the project. 1800 North 13th Street.
I don't see any reason.
Property owner Jonathan Ward.
It's plenty off the highway, plenty off the road, it's a meet sets back and everything else.
Sir?
About done with it, I think.
Probably so, yeah.
All right, motion to accept building permit is presented, please.
Make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All right, here the police activity monthly report from Chief Stanley Maresch. And we didn't have anything in our package. Do you have something, or?
Yeah,
Get all these other copies, are they all mixed up in there? Nope. Do you want them?
I have them there. Oh, you want me to go on, or you want to wait, or?
What do y'all want?
I think you can probably go.
Okay. Yes, all right, go on.
Okay. For October, we had 8 arrests, 3 accidents, 375 calls for service, 73 citations, a little over $5,800 in court fines, and over 6,000 miles on the vehicle. So, nothing major really happened.
Sounds pretty busy.
October it is. So now November, December will all slow down citations because it's the giving holidays and we got to give out warnings.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
What are the 5 escorts? Are those funerals?
Funeral escorts, school escorts,
Ah, okay.
yeah. So normally we have roughly 34 funeral escorts.
Right.
You know, I know one of the escorts was the band doing, they got first and whatever, and they wanted to escort in, so we gave them an escort in at 10 o'clock at night, so it's just one of those things.
Any other questions or comments?
So Stan, I'm not gonna go into detail on anything, whether it's a victim of assault or public intoxication or whatever, is there some conflict with your PD and the county?
There's
For
no
arrest
conflict.
procedures?
There's no conflict. There needs to be clarification.
Okay.
We've tried to do clarification, and it's just on a case-by-case basis with that issue that we're having.
Where's the clarification needed? As far as per incident or as far as the documentation?
per incident, per person, per employee of the county, per employee of the,
Depending on how they read.
yeah. You know, it could be a minor scratch on the chin of a suspect that we arrested for an assault, and the jailer says, no, he needs stitches. So we have to take him back up to the, the hospital to get stitches. When he doesn't need a stitch, put a Band-Aid, and, all that.
Okay.
We've eaten this apple before, back in February.
Yes.
In fact, that's when the sheriff issued this thing about what they would and would not do.
Mhm.
And it really puts a burden upon our arresting officers sometimes, and they need to take somebody to the jail. We don't have anywhere to put them. And if they won't take them out there, then we've got to transport them or something. So I think somewhere or another, we've got to have some kind of a clarification or a work together.
Alignment meeting would be a good thing.
With the sheriff's department in order to resolve this.
No, I mean, it's worked fine, but there's the one or two incidents that pops up, that becomes an issue.
Is it a certain deputy or certain jailer?
Yes and no. And it could be the way there's a lot of new jailers out there. They don't know any procedures, policies, if they say this is it, then that new jailer's gonna go follow that policy.
Right.
Unlike, it's okay, it's fine, it's a scratch. We're calling it good. Other than, I'm not gonna, if you wanna talk to me, not on a public hearing, but I will definitely go in more discussion on a public hearing.
There's such a fear that there's gonna be a big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with the Sandra Bland Act
Right.
and stuff like that, and jailers getting sued, jail staff, it's all about somebody suing somebody these days. And it, a lot of it was, my officers were, I don't wanna deal with it. They don't wanna go through the headache. I crushed that. I said, if we have enough to arrest, we're going to arrest.
Right.
That type of thing. So then you call me in and I'll start the fight. Type of thing, if that's the case.
Okay.
So, but they have this issue, well, I'm not even gonna bother with it. So, and I talked to my officers on that.
Would you briefly update council on the assault and no names, please?
Warrant has been served. And as far as I know, they were in the process of bonding them out before the meeting.
Okay.
So everything's all said and done, and the case is going to be forwarded on to the district attorney.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Anything else? All good? All ready. Thank you, Chief. All right, here's the city administrator's bi-weekly report, please.
Our work orders for street department, the previous period is 74, this period is 64. It's gone down. We had a lot of rain the last couple of weeks. It's really hindered a lot of our progress. We enjoy the rain, but our pits where we get caliche are still underwater. They're still flooded, so it'll take a little bit to, resume work on streets. We got immense, it devastated our roads, the rain did. There's potholes out there you could go swimming in now. And anyway. Yeah, exactly. So, but we got a lot of work ahead there. We've got crews, once we get material in, to just work on streets, and that's it, nothing else. Water department, it went up substantially. We were working through some of the rain, so we still have 58 outstanding in water and 38, oh wait, that's complete. 26 in progress and 5 outstanding in water department. So we're working on it, trying to get it going. Our man hours worked, the last period was 2961, last period 2877. Our overtime went way down, 41%. So that was due to the rain and whatnot. This period, current active meters, 1,856. Total gallons billed, 9 million versus 13,000 previous period. So we didn't use near as much water. And our total dollars billed out went down due to the amount of water we billed out, 10%. And then amount still unpaid from this period is $16,000. And when was that the last day? Because I think it wasn't part of
It
the.
would have been last Thursday,
Okay.
as of last Thursday.
Okay, so there's still some money that came in for that month. Lake level is up 2.3 feet over normal, so we're still running over. The dip at 13th Street in Pew is gone. It's open. We've got our grate in there, which leads to a culvert, which runs right out to our nice little our canal, which goes on into 14th. So we still got to polish it up a little bit, but it's open, running, flows well, looks good. This is what we had done on 14th. You can see we took an aerial view. If you drive by on 14th, you can see this big, opening. That's kind of what it looks like from above and kind of on down into the river. This is the map I referred to earlier. We did an exercise. We were wanting to see how much poly pipe versus old pipe, water mains that we have in the ground. The blue is what's been done. The red is the old pipe, and that could be PVC, the metal, the concrete. There's some copper lines out there somewhere, and that we still keep running into some lead pipe, and stuff like that. So the red is where we're going to concentrate on getting our water mains replaced.
That's probably about 75% replaced.
Yeah, well, we were thinking 60-40. I mean, it's close enough. Now, the PVC pipe, some of that is included in the red part. We're probably not going to jump out and replace that right away. If PVC pipe is not causing the rusty water, which some people experience in town, that's going to be caused from the metal pipe. And so we're concentrating on the metal, but as we close in on these red areas, we can change them, and it starts tracking in it. You can really start seeing the difference once we start turning these red areas blue. So.
Hey, Tommy,
Yes, sir.
from that, where y'all removed that dip and put that grate in?
Yes, sir.
Looked like from that aerial photo, y'all cleared a lot of that brush down that creek bed too, is that correct?
We did on 14th, from 14th to the river. We haven't been able to get in with equipment to clear off from the bridge over to 14th.
Okay.
It's really soupy right now.
Still looks a lot better.
Right. Yeah, no, it's looking a lot better. So if you haven't had a chance to go by. And honestly, I still have to stop. Mentally, it's ingrained. I don't know why, but you still kind of slow down at that dip. And what else we got?
That's all.
Okay. Overall, it was a really wet couple of weeks. Well, for the last 3 weeks have been.
Question on pipe. So is that going out Country Club Road? Is that to the water plant? That red line leaving out 288, isn't that 288 I'm seeing there?
Well,
County Road 288?
from the water plant on Country Club Road, let's say right behind your house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a stretch there that's been replaced with
Right.
new. But from there over to Broadway, we still need to replace it.
Right, I see that piece, and then if you go on out toward the water plant,
Yeah.
once you go on the county road, so it looks like leaving the water plant, we still have old line, is that what I'm seeing?
Very well may have. We very well may have.
Just curious.
Some of these old lines.
line,
Yeah, I can't tell, that's where I'm looking
that's
at.
Avenue E.
Okay, okay, is that
That
you?
by the,
Okay.
yeah, that's up there by the restaurant.
It's back.
But it's all, we still have one
Yeah.
function that really,
There's a split, so it's right behind the split, so you're putting what's going out. That line is on the split.
Just
It's
like-
right in front of the house.
Yeah.
It's not allowed. Because that's where the see where it's split.
Well, it's feeding the main line that goes all the way down Fifth, all the way to
It goes into the blue line.
Park.
Yeah, that's where it's.
Well, it's kind of a zigzag.
It follows it
So-
down.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's still, yeah, some of these main lines may still be coming out of the water plant because they're still feeding that side of town. And they haven't been replaced yet.
Yeah.
It's all those houses.
You
I
can
can
start
see why
seeing,
if you replace the main line, leave the water plant, you're taking the whole city out.
right, right. Well, see, and you can kind of start seeing the methodology that we started doing, what, 15
It
years
looks, I
ago?
mean, I'm happy with the work.
That's fine.
That's all we've done. I was trying to get my bearings because I can't see the street names very well from here.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess that's about it for right now. I don't have anything else.
How did you get the word in on that sewer line?
Yeah, we stand by it.
Yes, we did, and they were going over there around 4:30. I saw a truck going by with brand new hose. So our sewer machine broke. We got it lodged in a sewer line, and sometimes some of those sewer lines are wonky, you know, and the machine will get stuck, and we were trying to retract it, and it broke the hose. So we ordered new hose, and anyway, we got it in today. We're up and running again. So
What about the little rocket? that was on there?
no, we retrieved it.
Still dead?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we
Did it resolve that citizen?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you talk to her?
I did. I texted him, told him it was going to be tended to today.
So she had a rough weekend.
Yes, yes. And we regret that. There was absolutely nothing we could do. So, we had a citizen that had a sewer clog over the weekend, and because our machine was broke, we couldn't help her. So, but she'll be fixed today. And I think that's all I had right now. We're just trying to recover. We were supposed to be finished with Merle and started on 8th Street already, but, you know, our plans got rained out, and we're just now getting back on Merle. And 14th Street and 13th Street, you know, trying to get those projects finished up. Then we can move forward. Okay, I'm done.
All righty. Any requests for future agenda items from city council? Anything need to be on the agenda, please? We already spoke about for sure. Anything else? Everybody's always like this. Quiet. All right. Thank y'all very much for coming in. Next is going to be executive session. Appreciate y'all. Have a great